Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thanks a lot for coming around. I'm happy to be back in class this evening with you. This evening to discuss something that I feel will excite you about programming. Of course, the previous parts have been exciting, but this one will add more to the excitement of your training. Now, today, you will realize that all the programs that we have written up to today are programs that take steps one after the other. It's like you go forward one step at a time in a linear format. That's normal. But in life, it's not just about going in a straightforward style. There are instances when we need to make decisions. And when decisions are made, you don't go in a linear pattern. You may either go right, or you go left, or you keep going forward, or you stay put, or you go back. It depends on your decision. So tonight, I will introduce us to what we call control structures, and it's very simple. So you see the first part there is sequential control structure, one action after another. You start from that black dot, then we take sequence of steps. What is your name? How old are you? What is your gender? What class are you? What is your score in this subject? We do all of those things and they are sequential. We will just display the result in that same sequence of dialogue. There is no need for decision making. But in conditional control structure, we are required to make decisions. For instance, we all made decisions tonight when our brain checked the time. Is it 7:20 yet? Oh, it's 7:20. I need to stop doing whatever I'm doing. And then I need to go into the class for Python programming. And then you are here. If it wasn't 7:20, you would not have connected to Zoom to be part of this class because your brain will tell you that's a wrong decision to make. Why didn't you connect at 2? Why didn't you connect at 4? Because the time for the class was not yet, at hand. If it is tomorrow, your brain will check again. Oh, it's 7:20. Do I have a class today? Your brain will say no. Even though it's 7:20, you don't have a class on Saturday and you don't have a class on Sunday. So don't go to Zoom. Only connect to Zoom when it is Monday through Friday and it is 7:20 up to 7:30. So you make that decision. Every morning when you wake up at 5:30, whether you wake up on your own or your daddy and mommy need to wake you up, you are making that decision again to say, is it time for Subway? When you check the time and it's Subway time, you get up, you go and perform ablution, and then you pray Subway with your family. That is another decision that you make when it is morning time. If it is 6:37 and it is Monday through Friday, your brain still needs to tell you, do I need to go to school or not? It will ask, is it Monday through Friday? Yes. Are we on holiday? No. Is there a public holiday? No. Then you start preparing for school because that is a decision that you make without anybody, telling you this. But when it is Monday through Friday and you are on summer holiday or any end of term holiday like this, then you don't go to school because the decision is different. So when you look at that shape there, that spade object that I'm pointing at, that is the one that requires you to make a decision. You need to make a choice. And if your choice is to go right, then you go along that path on the right, which is the true situation. And if your choice is to go left, then you go on the path of false path, and then you eventually continue going. So let's give a condition. You have written a program, it has asked someone for their name, it has asked them for their age, and you want to evaluate whether they are eligible to vote or not. Then you check the age. Is the age greater than or equal to 18? If yes, then you go to the right here, sorry, the left side of the screen for you. It will be true. Age is greater than or equal to 18. Then it means that person can vote and all other things may follow along that path. Or if the person is not up to 18, false, something else will happen in your program. And it will be, I'm sorry, you are not eligible to vote. And then the program will probably end. So this right part may have multiple sequential statements like that on that side. And the left part, which is the false, the right part, which is going to be your own right now on the screen. The false part is going to be just one statement, and then everything will eventually end the program. So that is when we make decisions. So we'll learn tonight how to do things like this. Then the last control structure has to do with repeating certain things. We call it loop or iteration. Loop is a way of saying you want to repeat certain tasks over certain number of times. For instance, if I ask you to write a program that would display numbers from a particular number to another number, you may need to ask me a question over and over, and your users will be sending in the input if you are not automatically generating the numbers. So you may loop through that number of times. Or if I give you the number of times from the beginning, and the program can still generate a loop, and it will run as many times as it has been given the instruction to. Another instance may be if I am looking at your age for sake of argument, and you tell me, Ibrahim, I'm asking for your age, but you type in Ibrahim in from your keyboard. I can check that input and make a decision. Is that a valid input? If the answer is yes, then it will continue. If the answer is no, it should send you back and ask you to type in your age again, because it is expecting a kind of input and you put in a wrong type of input. So we will also show ourselves how you can write programs that will make decisions, and those decisions may send you into a loop. So that's like the theoretical explanation behind what we will be doing. I know you are not interested in this now. What you want to see is the practical application. So I'm switching to my programming screen. Let me increase my font to 25. And then we will write our first program. And the first program will use conditions. So I'll say if statement, general structure. Yeah. If statement is a way of asking, is something meeting certain conditions? If yes, then do some things. Otherwise, don't do anything. So this is the way it flows. You write if, small if, not capital, just like we said prior to now. So it is always like if the condition is true. I'll discuss what condition is with us. If condition is true, then we like to know. You put this colon here. That is like your then do some things. Else do some other things. This is the general structure. Let me see. I think I have two messages here. Which application software am I using? Some people are saying they can't hear me clearly. Please confirm that you can hear me. I'm having some network challenges, but then confirm that you can hear me. I'm using PyCharm.
I think that's network.
All right, Abdullah, thanks. All right. So I'm using PyCharm for Ikeolua that is asking which application software am I using. All right, so the structure is always like this. If some conditions are true, what should we do? If the conditions are not true, what should we do? This is the basic structure for if statement. It doesn't mean this is the only structure. There are several other structures of if statements that we will play around with, but this is the most basic structure. Now, this condition that is here can be in many forms. So I need to let you know what the conditions may be. Yeah, for instance, I can be saying, is your age greater than or equal to 18? That is a condition. I am checking, is your age greater than or equal to 18? If yes, then it should do some things. Otherwise, it should do something else. Someone else may say, is your gender equal to female? That is another condition. So if it's a female, for instance, you go into the hospital and a doctor is asking you questions. If you are a female, there are certain questions that they may ask you if you are at a particular age that they will never ask a man. For instance, they will not ask a man, when was the last time you had menstruation? Because that question is not applicable to male. So when they are thinking, they're already checking in their mind, oh, this person is a female. Let me ask these relevant questions. Or, oh, this person is a male. Don't let me ask this type of question. Or if you say you are 12 years old, then they cannot be asking you about smoking, about drinking alcohol, about working hours, because they know you are not at that age yet. So ability to make those decisions will be based on what the result of this check or this other check is. So you may be checking one condition at a time. Another thing you may check is your grade in a particular subject. So they may say, we are looking for people with distinction in a particular subject. So if your own grade in that subject is not distinction, then you will not be shortlisted. So they will have to determine what is distinction. They may say it's score greater than or equal. Okay, let's just say greater than maybe 80%. That may be the condition. Okay, and they may come out and say, we're not looking at score alone. We want to look at score and gender. Maybe because the organization that is planning to give scholarship wants to give scholarship to girls to encourage them. So they may combine gender with score, or they may combine age with score. It depends on their condition. So I may say score greater than 80 and gender equal to female. This time around, I am using two conditions, and you must be over 80 with your score, and your gender must be female before you will be shortlisted by the program. And the same way human beings apply this, the system can also, the program can also apply the logic. And mind you, it doesn't have to be just two conditions. I can equally put something like your state of origin, and they can factor it into the selection parameter. So let me put this here, and origin is equal to Lagos. Maybe Lagos State government wants to give scholarships to female students that are scoring over 80% in their subject consistently. Then the conditions will be score is greater than 80 and gender is equal to female and origin is equal to Lagos. So if you are a female and you are scoring well and you are not from Lagos, then you will not be eligible for the scholarship. You need to have that at the back of your mind. So you will see that in these two situations, line 19 and line 21, I have combined multiple conditions together. So I have combined score and gender in line 19. And in line 21, I combined score, gender, and state of origin. And you can see this. So this is possible for you. And the combination factor there is and, A-N-D. I'll talk to us more about that in a while. Sometimes it may not be and. I'll give you that example. There are two other situations you may have. I'll put both of them here. It may be or, and I can put OR here. What this one is saying is in line 23, you can be shortlisted for scholarship if you score over 80% or you are a female. There are two conditions. It's either you are scoring over 80% or you are a female. So if you are a boy and you are scoring over 80%, you will be shortlisted. If you are a girl and you are scoring below 80%, you will be shortlisted. You only need to say yes to any of the two conditions. Am I a girl? Yes, that is enough. Am I a boy? No, that is not enough. If you are a boy, you have to score over 80% because this scholarship is strictly for girls or any student that is scoring over 80%. So it is either or. The line 25 that we have here is saying we will give scholarships to anyone who is like scoring over 80% or is a female or is from Lagos. So if you are from Lagos and you are a boy, you will be shortlisted because you pass based on state of origin. If you are a female and you are from Akwa Ibom, you will pass because you are a female. If you are from the north and you are a boy, you are disqualified based on state of origin. You are disqualified based on gender. But if you are scoring over 80%, if you are scoring over 80%, please, you will be shortlisted. So these are three conditions that I have put in here. So this leads us to what in computer we call the truth table. You need to understand the truth table before you start writing if statement because we use it a lot on daily basis. So truth table is saying I will use it with AND and I will use it with OR shortly. So the laws are very simple. Please watch them. So condition one, if condition one is true, I'll put true like this. and condition 2 is true, your result will be true. That is the law. If condition 1 is true and condition 2 is false, this one is telling me the result will be false. If condition 1 is false and condition 2 is true, the result will be false. If condition 1 is false and condition 2 is false, the result will be false. So what exactly is the meaning of all these things that I have typed? I'll give you a scenario. We are saying you are testing two parameters. Let's say score and gender. So if you have scored over 80%, then that means the result will be true when we are checking your score. And are you a female? That is the condition 2 here. Gender must be equal to female. If you are a female, then the response will be true. Then you are eligible for scholarship. So if you are giving scholarship to female students that are scoring over 80%, you will apply this law 1. In that case, any student that is a female and is scoring over 80% will be eligible for the scholarship. If there is a female, if there is a boy, that is the second condition here. Gender is not equal to female. So that's when it will be false. But you are doing well as a boy, you are not eligible because this scholarship is not for boys. The third one is saying you are a girl, but you are not scoring over 80%. You are still not eligible for scholarship. And the fourth one here is you are not scoring very high grades and you are not a girl. You are still not eligible. And that is why you have false, false, false for the last 3 situations. So when we use and operator, when you use this logical operator and, it means all the conditions must be true before you get a true result. All the conditions must be true before you get a true result. However, if you use or is very lenient. It is not as strict as and you will see it now. I'll put or here. I'll put or here. I'll put or here, and I'll put or here. The result will not be the same. So or is saying you need to only say true to one of the questions or to one of the conditions, and you will get a true result. If you answer yes to one of the conditions, then you are fine. You don't need to meet all the conditions that are being given. So if we look at the first one, you are scoring over 80%. You are a girl. Yeah, fine. You will be eligible. The second one is saying you are scoring very well, but you are not a girl. You will still be eligible because we are saying we need students that are either female or scoring over 80%. So it has to be any of the 2 situations. Then the third one says, I am not scoring well, but I'm a girl. That is enough to give you the scholarship. And the last one is the only bad one here. I am not scoring well. I am not a girl. Then you are not eligible. So for you to have a true result with OR, you need one of the conditions to say true. And once you understand this logic, you will be able to handle any programming situation that requires you to apply what we call the truth table. There is another operator called NOT, which I'm not going to introduce now. I can tell you it's just not. Not is just a way of saying male is not female. It negates the obvious. So if I say male, then I know male is not female. So if you tell me you are a female, then I know you are not a male. So you don't have to tell me I'm not a male. Once you tell me you are a female, then I know you are not a male. So that is the way not works in logic. So how do we use all of these ideas in programming environment? Let's start implementing codes. And I need you to have this at the back of your mind. So we want to write a scholarship code that will ask you for your name, your gender, and your score. And it will tell you whether you are eligible for the scholarship or not. That is going to be our first task. So let's go up. We will remove all of these stories that we have written, and we'll say, come in here and say, write a Python code to, excuse me, to shortlist candidates based on score being higher than 80. That is the first one. Okay. We will test it. Then we will say based on gender being female. And before people will accuse me, I'll write another one that will be based on male. And then to make it easier, I'll say being female. Being female and score greater than 80%. We can do that. Then we can write another one and say being male and score being greater than 80%. Then we can say a code based on state of origin. Okay, based on state of origin. And then we will now combine that with state of origin, grade, and gender. And that should be fine. And you will now see our original example of write a code that will give discount to customers that bought over 30,000 naira worth of products. Okay, and the discount will be 3% discount. So this is going to be a practical application of that. So how do we write all of this? It's very simple. I can convince you on that. So let's start from the first one. So it's going to ask you here, we need your score. The first thing is it will ask you for your first name. That's always the starting point. What's your first name? So we'll say input first name. When we supply the first name, this is the wrong bracket. When we supply the first name, we are now asking for the score. Remember, we said score can be just integer. So we ask you for the score. These are your input. Then we need to process this input. Our process will not look like this. I want to evaluate, is your eligibility, is this a long word? Eligibility. Eligibility will be something that would show me true or false. Okay. Initially, everybody is false until we prove otherwise. So we'll now come in and say, if score is greater than 80, then this is the symbol for then eligibility is equal to true. Else, this is wrong. Should be single this. Else eligibility is false. And that's it. Then our output will now be message, just like we did yesterday. Our message will be you are eligible. Eligible. Okay, that's message 1. I'll put the name here and I'll come here and say format and I'll put first name. Okay, you are eligible for the scholarship because you scored something like this. Okay, I'll come in here and put score. That is message 1. I'll come here, make a copy, paste it, and say message 2. You are not eligible for the scholarship because you scored something else. Okay, so we will now play around and say, which message will our users see? We will come in and say, if eligibility, okay, is true, then print message 1. Else, print message 2. Sometimes people will just look it like this and say this is okay. So if I run this program, it will tell me you are fine, you are not fine. First name is Ibrahim, my score 70. It tells me, Ibrahim, you are not eligible for the scholarship because you scored 70. The minimum required is 80. Okay. Ismail and Muhammad are saying they are not able to run the code. You share your screen with us shortly when I'm done with the demonstration, and then we will help you troubleshoot. So let's go through what we have written. We wrote a code to ask for first name and score, and then we are checking if your eligibility situation is in fact, you may not even come through this approach because this looks like a long one for you. Someone else may just say, come in here and say message 1. Cut this, put it here, message 1, and they can print message 1 straight away. And then they come back to line 16, cut this, replace this, and they can print message 2 straight away. And the results and the process are combined together. So here I have written a code to ask for your first name and your score, and I am processing and displaying output in the same block and saying, if your score is over 80, then it should display this message 1 to you. Otherwise, it should, this is the otherwise. Otherwise, it should display this second message to you. So if you run it and you say Waris is scored 90, it will be shortlisted. Something else is on the lower side of my screen. I'm sorry for that. So I need to remove that part. I will rerun my code. I'll put Waris because I want to give him 90. He is eligible for the scholarship because he scored 90. So the structure, let's show us again. This is the message for the input. This is the prompt for the score. And this is where we are making the decision. So this is the condition here. Is score greater than 80? Sometimes you may say, is it greater than or equal to 80? So this is 80 and above. Okay, it is different from greater than 80. If you say greater than 80, then whoever scores 80 will not be given scholarship. But if you say greater than or equal to 80, then it means it is 80 and above. You can check your condition. So we only have one condition here. If condition here is true, the computer can check based on your score. It will compare your score with 80. So when you put 90 there for Waris, it checks, is 90 greater than 80? Yes, that is true. And that is why it went through this part. If we had put 60 there as the score, it will check, is 60 greater than 80? No. So it will not go through this part. Rather, it will come through this path. And that's the simple logic that the computer uses in shortlisting scholarship based on one condition, score. Okay, that is simple. We can use the same approach by asking a question on gender. So let's say gender input, and we ask you, and we want to keep it simple, we'll say M or F. So just tell us M or F. We don't want story about whether it's female or male. Okay, so you respond to that. So once you respond to that, we now want to write another condition here that will check just your gender. If you are a male, you are not eligible because we are giving it to a female for the first one here. So when you put in your gender, this computer will come in and say, if gender, okay, is equal to F, if gender is equal to F, what should I do? Then we will say print, you are eligible for the scholarship because you are a female. It will print that. Else, what should it print? It should say, let's go and copy it. And come in here, yes, say, you are not eligible for the scholarship because you are a male. So because this one is evaluating based on one condition, your gender. Okay. So when we run it for, let me use Abdullah, your score. Oh, he's asking his gender. It says he's a male. His score, 98%. It does not count. You are not eligible for the scholarship because you are a male. That is the logic here. Now, let me show you something that is not completely correct about this code. Okay, I'll run with Miriam now. Let's say this is Miriam. She is a female, but by mistake, she put small f and she scored 99. See what the program is saying. You are not eligible for the scholarship because you are a male. Even though we know Miriam is not a male, she is a female. So why is the computer calling her a male? The computer is calling her a male because when she was asked for her gender, she put small f instead of capital F. And the program was doing the comparison based on capital F. So that is why that program called her a boy instead of a girl. So how do we correct that? We will come in here and say, whatever our users type in for their gender, since we are using F here as capital, one method is whatever our users type in, we want you to convert it to upper. Remember, we spoke about this yesterday. So it will convert it to upper, and then it will compare it with this F that we have put here. So if I run this code again for Miriam, and I still use small f and 90, she will be seen as qualified because my computer converted this small f to capital F before comparing it here. And now she's shortlisted for scholarship because she's a female. And that's why this message is being displayed and not this message. So that is something you need to pay attention to when you are writing codes like this. But if you are doing the same thing for male, so that boys here will not accuse me of not giving them scholarship, I'll just copy this. I'll paste this here and I'll change this to M for male because you are a male. And I'll change this to female and it will work. So this second part will be compare whatever people have typed in after you change it to uppercase. Is it the same thing as capital M? So if you put M lowercase, it will convert it to uppercase and compare it to capital M. If the answer is yes, then it should tell you you are qualified because you are a male. Otherwise, it should tell you you are not qualified because you are a female. That is the way that part works. But that's straightforward. Is there any other way I could have written this without causing confusion? Let me do that. Just give me a moment. I'll copy all of this and say, I need new code examples. Let me see. How many examples do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So I need to write 8 more examples. So I'll say the first one, example 0 to 8. That's 1. Paste this here. Then example 0 to 9. That's 2. paste this here. You'll see what I am doing shortly. Example 030, that's 3. Paste this here. Example 031, that's 4. Example 032, that's 5. We're almost there. Example 033, that's 6. And example 034, that's 7. And I guess the final one is example 035, and that should be 8. So let me go back to 28. That was where we started from. All right, so I will go up there and then I'll remove all these ones that we have here. So you can see that example alone. It's a very simple example. Maybe I should reduce my font a little bit to 22, if you don't mind. All right, so this is example 1 for you. Example 2 will be the same thing, but I'll need to take this first part off, and then I'll remove all of this. So this is example 2, based on your gender being female alone. Then the third example does not require all of this. In fact, it needs you being a male, so it doesn't need this part. It doesn't need this part, and it does not need this part. Okay, so this is your example 3. Now, the next example, which we should be demonstrating, is the one after male or female. Okay, so we've seen single examples where you are either male or female. Then this one is now going to say, we need something more than that. We need you to be a female and your score should be over 80, not just female alone. So let me remove this part. Then the next one will be, we need you to be male and your score should be over 80. We'll just copy paste and modify that part. And then after male and score, the next one will be your state of origin, which we are going to ask you. We don't know your state of origin yet. So we will prompt you for that shortly. And then that should be it. Then the next one will combine more than your state of origin. It will look at your state of origin. It will look at all the other parameters and decide whether you are eligible or not. And then the last one is not related to state of origin. It's checking what you have bought. So we may need to even add new questions at the beginning. So let's go back to 29. This is showing us female. 30 is female. Now, so this is where we were. So we now want to combine these conditions. Can someone give me an idea of how I will go about doing this? Any idea? I need help. Can someone help me? How do I write a code in Python to solve this problem? Anybody? Can someone help me with that? Okay, so let's go around and show us if you are struggling with it. So let's say you have been given the first name, you've been given the gender, you've been given the score, and I want to evaluate this user. This is what I'll do. I'll say if I want to put my conditions here, do some things, okay? Else, do something else. So this thing I want to do is print you are eligible. Or I want to print you are not eligible. So this is you are eligible, you are not eligible. So the condition that you will put here is what I want to show you. And it's a very simple condition. So it will be if score is greater than or equal to 80 and gender, when you make it upper, is equal to female, then I want this to tell me what I am doing. So you can remove this bracket here just to simplify it. Okay. So I have written this code to say if score is greater than or equal to 80 and gender, after you convert whatever users type in to upper, you want it to look like a female. If it is true, if this part is true, and this part is also true, then you are eligible. Otherwise, you are not eligible. So let's check this and see what it will tell us. So our first test with Ismail. And he's a male. And he's scored 98%. We do not expect him to be eligible. And the program tells us straight away, you are not eligible. Because when it is checking, the moment it gets here, score greater than or equal to 80, yes, that's true for him because he scored 98. But when it is checking gender equal to capital F, it looks at this, it converts it to capital. This is M capital. M is not equal to F. So this part is false. This part is true. But when you are using and, both parts must be true before you can execute this part. And that's why it threw him away from this line and brought him to you are not eligible. So if we rerun this for Emisi Olua, and she says she's a female and she has 80. I put 80 there to show you one thing, because we're saying greater than or equal to. So I want you to see the effect of scoring 80 precisely. So she will be true here because 80 is part of greater than or equal to. And then she is a female because this F will be converted to capital and capital F is equal to capital F. So when we execute this now, it will say you are eligible. And you can see the result says you are eligible. This is the way you write simple if statement that is combining two conditions, just like I have done here. If you want to do the same thing for male, you don't need a complicated logic. You already have it in example 31 for female. Just copy that part and then paste it here for male. And here you will say M. That is the only thing you will change there. That's the only thing. We are looking for male that are scoring over 80. Sorry, 80 and above, not over 80. Over 79, but 80 and above. So if you run this for male, it will work. I say my very good friend is Read One. He impressed me yesterday. He's a male. He scored 98. He is eligible on 2 grounds. His score is good and his gender is good. Otherwise, he would not have been shortlisted. Ismail is saying, I cannot run. I have been telling you since nobody answered. Oh, I'm so sorry. I answered you. Maybe you didn't get me. I said I will come back to you and then you will share your screen with me and I'll check what is the problem. Maybe what I should do right away is to stop and then ask you to show me your screen and then we should fix your problem before moving on. Okay, Ismail and Mohammed, show us your screen. Let's fix your issue before we move on. Are you still there? All right, great. Okay, beautiful. So when I'm looking at this screen.
Are you talking to me?
No, not you. I'm talking to one of the participants. So he's having program issues. So he wants me to help him fix it. All right. So
Okay.
this is the tutorial. Go to exercise 11,011. Click on 011. Now, while you're on exercise 005, hold on, Ismail. Now, what I have done here on this exercise file is just a tutorial for you, okay? And that's why it's telling you, it shows red lines on the right saying there is a problem with this line, there is a problem with this line, because everything here is English. So this is just for your tutorial. So what you need to do is to click on this line after PyCharm, go up there, second icon. After PyCharm, after PC on the top left corner. So click on that, yes, click on that. It will display, click on it. You're not clicking on, when you click on it, it will do something for you. Or the second option is this. Give me control of your screen. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, so press Control A. Control A, click inside this window and press Control
Sir,
A.
we cannot hear you.
Okay, check the chat box. Okay, press Control A. Yeah, this is strange. They can't hear me and I can hear them clearly. Maybe it's network. Yeah, it's my network most likely. Because it's telling me sometimes that the network is unstable. Okay, the network didn't enter. No, it came in, but it's fluctuating in terms of strength. All right. Can you hear me, everybody, please? No, nobody is hearing me. It's not really listening about close to this SD. Okay, this is what I
Sir,
would.
press Control A.
Okay, you have not, because if you do it to select everything on your screen. So this is what I want to do. Yeah, I want to ask you to give me control of your screen. So give me one moment. I will say, Ismail, where are you? This is you. I'll say, don't remove you. Give me control of your screen. Do you know how to do that from this environment, or you don't?
I don't.
Okay. I am asking you for the remote control. Something will happen on your
So I don't
screen.
know how to do it.
I am doing it from you. So just say yes to what I have. I've sent you a message on your screen to ask for the control. So just respond to it. Okay,
So I
fine.
does.
Okay, fine. So this is what I'll do for you. So I am on your screen now as the user. Have you given me the response or the control?
Yes, sir. I've approved.
All right, fine. Thanks. So I want to do Control A. It's not responding. I'm not giving up remote control. So let me fit it first to my screen because it looks small at my end. Okay. Now I'm trying to click inside your view. It's not showing me. So this is what I need to do first. I want to click, okay, fine. Control A has worked. Then I'll click on that lines, those 4 lines after PC, this one. Exactly. So I'll go to code. I'll go to, there is a line here that I can use to format or to comment all of them. This is it, comment with line comment. I'm clicking that. You can help me click it. This one, under coding, comment with line comment. Correct. So when you do that, you will see that exercise 011 is not showing you error again. So click on exercise 005. So you cannot put read 1 where you have put it. You need to remove that. And then you cannot put PPP where you have put it. That's incorrect. So that one has been sorted. Now show me, there is an extra bracket required here. I have helped you put it there. So exercise 005 is fine. So show me the latest code that you have written that is not working for today's exercise. If it was on your exercise 011, then that would not be the correct way to write it. So what you then need to do is to do this. Sorry. Let me show the screen. Or we go back to exercise 011. Yeah. So when you get to the end of the line here, you can now say first name is equal to input. And then you put first name. Score is equal to integer of input, and we want them to give us their score. Then gender is input gender, but we want male or female. That's what we want. So you now go up here and just format the code appropriately. So in the first line here, it's telling me there are too much space. You remove 1. In the second line, it's saying there is supposed to be space around the equality sign. Same thing with the third one. So your lines are fine. And if you want to write your statements now, you can say if score is greater than or equal to 80, then print you are eligible. Okay. Otherwise, print you are, no, not this. That should be quote inside first. You are not eligible. Yeah. So if you run this now from right click on this tab and say run exercise 011. So it's asking you for your first name. You can say Muhammad. Says Muhammad is not defined. Why? Let's check together.
Because you did not mention it in the name.
There is no what?
You did not mention it when you were writing the first name.
Okay, so let's see. Let's go up the ladder and see if there is a problem from the top. There is nothing. Okay, so when I was writing this, what did I put there? It says there is a problem with line 1. There shouldn't be. The variable is this, and it is correct. Even without question mark, it will still work. Okay, and it should just tell me. I'm not using the first name, I'm only using the score. So this is a valid code. Let me run it again. I'll still use that same name. I'll say Muhammad. It says name error. Muhammad is not defined. Where is that coming from? First name is my variable on line 35. 36 is getting my score. That's strange. Okay, so let me check. I'll run with another name. I don't expect anything different. Say Wale. You see, it's not the problem with the name. It says there is a problem somewhere within the entire file because it's telling me Wale is not defined. Wale is not the variable. The variable is first name. Just like in score, you have variable, and gender, you have variable, and we are putting things in them. So this script works for me, except if there is an error coming from some other windows that you have opened, okay, that I can't see yet. Exercise 005, I don't know what is there. This is not the source. 004 is not the source. Let me close this. Aha, so you can see there are some things that you have written that are generating errors that you need to fix first. And when you fix that, you won't have that problem again. For instance, when I'm looking at this, your code, if I want to help you fix it, you say, you will have, yes, hold on. Yeah, hold on. I'll fix it just for everybody to learn.
Mute it.
Yes, I want to do that. So look at this. You said here, you want people to, I'm thinking of what you are writing here. Tell me what you are writing in this code.
So I can't remember.
Okay, hold on. I'll check for you. I'll check for you. So you wanted to write a code that will say football team message, hello Ridwan, hello Ridwan, hello Ridwan is repeating, hello Ridwan is repeating. Okay, so let's do something. The first thing here will be to remove everything. So I'm saying select all. Okay, Control A. I don't know why it's taking a long time. Control A. If it doesn't respond, okay, then I'll remove everything. Okay, I've removed everything. So what you probably wanted to say was first name should be an input. Okay, the input will be first name. People will give it from the keyboard. Don't write their name into your code. Okay, so I'm waiting for the message I typed there to show. So I said first name, correct. That took a while. And then I'll go into the next line and say football team. And then it is here, input a message, your favorite football team. You indicate it. And then somewhere here, you are printing a message. And the message is going to be like this. You want to say, hello, someone. You are a fan of something. Okay. Then we'll say dot format. The first thing there will be first name. The next thing will be football team. And when you now get to the final message, you want to print that message that you were trying to display. And if you run this code, this exercise 11, no, exercise 22, I guess. Let me go up here, right click and say run. It's asking me here, since you used arrays before, something is way wrong with this. Okay, call me on WhatsApp after this class. We need to look at your entire setup from the beginning. It seems like there are other things that are showing errors here.
Yes, sir.
That we need to fix. All right. Thanks a lot.
Yes.
Okay, so you can stop sharing your screen now.
Yes.
All right. All right, so let me do a quick revision of what we've done. Thanks a lot, everyone, for holding forth. Tonight, we have shown ourselves how you can write conditional statements in Python to handle single condition. And we have also shown examples where you can handle two conditions using AND operator. The other one will be if you want to say this one or that one. All you need to do is just to change this operator to OR. And it will be either you have scored over 79 or you are a female. That is possible when you are writing Python. That's the only thing that will change there. Nothing beyond that. Based on state of origin, we can do this easily because we already dealt with one condition. And if you want to see the logic, it is here. So if you are saying based on state of origin, you can copy this and say you are looking for people who are from Lagos alone. So in here, you will need to ask them for their state of origin, along with all the other things that you want to ask them. So you ask state of origin. Your state of origin. They will give you their state of origin. That's not your own problem. So when you now get here, you say state of origin. When they supply it, you want to convert it to uppercase, it must match Lagos like this. If yes, then they will be eligible. Otherwise, they are not eligible. We are not using score here. We're only using state of origin, and that is enough. So even if you write this code, or you run it rather, it prompts me and I say, Abdullah, I am a male. I scored 90. I'm from Kwara. I will not be eligible. Yeah, you can see you are not eligible because my state is disqualifying me because it's looking for people who are from Lagos alone. And you can build on that example by saying, based on state of origin, grade, and gender. What that will mean is that when you get here, you take, in fact, let me take the whole of this. I'll copy this part first. That's not the whole of that. I need one more line. I'll copy the state of origin. I'll put it here. Then I'm now saying state of origin must be Lagos and gender dot upper must be female and score must be greater than or equal to 80. So these are the three conditions that you must meet before you are shortlisted. If you don't meet these three conditions, you cannot be. Okay. Now, Abdullah, I'll come to you shortly. You also need to share your screen with me. So this code works. I can run it for you and show you that if I'm from Lagos, let's say I'm Latifa, I'm a female, I have scored 88 and I'm from Lagos, I will be eligible because I meet all the conditions that have been given here. They must be Lagos citizens, they must be female, and they must have 80% and above. That is the way to go about it. Now, I'll do this last demo, then I'll come to Abdullah's screen shortly. This one, you want to write a code that will do task on line 2. You want people to buy things from you, and based on the volume of what they have bought, you want to give them discounts. So the first thing is to know the product that they are buying. You want to know the unit price. I can just say price. In this case, it should be float. And I'll say, give me the price. Then you want to know the quantity that they have bought. So this one will be quantity. So you have almost all the variables, but you do not know how much discount you will give to them yet. You don't know. So initially discount is 0, but you know that discount rate is 3 divided by 100 based on the question. It is 3%. Okay, discount rate is 3%. So you will now come in here and say amount is equal to quantity.
Sir, we cannot see your screen.
Okay, let me go back. How about now? Can you see my screen now? Can you see it now? Please confirm if you can see my screen. Wow, this is a big one. Can you see my screen? Can you? Okay, fine, thanks. So this is now going to be, amount is supposed to be quantity times price. Then we'll say less than discount. And then you will print amount. You can customize it and you print this. But discount is not 0. discount is not going to be 0. So we need to now come in and say here, if quantity times price is greater than 30,000, 30, 1, 2, 3, then discount is equal to discount rate times quantity times price. Else, discount continues to be 0. Yeah, discount will continue to be 0. So this is what you have done here. You are saying, let us calculate discount first. And the way to calculate that is after people give you the price and quantity, you want to check, is the combination of both after you multiply them together, is it greater than 30,000? If yes, then it should calculate 3% discount based on parameter on line 9. Otherwise, discount is still 0. So once it knows the discount from this part, it can remove it from this part and then give you the result. So let's say here that amount is this and discount is this based on quantity this and price that. It sounds funny, but you can do it this way. And you now say format. So we started with amount, then we went to discount, and we went to quantity, and we ended with price. All right, so let's run this. This is example 35. What product? I want PlayStation. Price. In my word, let me just call it 145,000. Okay. And then quantity, we are buying 2. So to say amount is 281,300. The discount is 88,700 based on quantity 2 and price this, because it's comparing it with this 30,000 here. Even the unit price is way beyond that. So let's rerun that with something very simple. Product, let's say PlayStation. Price, let's put 5,000. Then quantity, you are buying 5. So it will tell you the amount is 25,000. That's 5,000 times 5. Discount is 0 because you bought 5 and the price is 5,000 here. Discount is 0 because you have not bought up to 30,000. But if you bought, say, PlayStation at 5,000 and you bought 7. So it will tell you your total amount is 33,950. You have a discount of 1,050 because you bought 7 at the price of 5,000. So this is the way the computer can apply this logic, because you are using conditional statement if along the line. So someone asked me to check his screen a few minutes ago. Abdullah, please share your screen with me. I'll fix that, and that will be the end of our conversation for today. And Monday, all things being equal, I'll wrap up this conditional statement and talk about loop before we start talking about our project for next week. So Abdullah, let's see your screen. Good. It's coming up. And it's back. Yeah, it's taking a while. We'll connect to your screen and see it. Okay, yeah, I've seen your screen. So it says line 319. So the problem is not from this page. Let's check your PRG3, project 3, and yes. Because this page has just 10 lines and it says there is a problem from line 319. So the problem is from project 2. Okay. So if I'm fixing this, this is what I'll do. Go to line 2. The bracket before float, remove it. No, project 2. Project 2 looks okay. Okay, this one looks okay. Then go back to project 3. I think project 3 was where the problem was, even though we will come back here. So the line, the bracket before float, remove it. Yeah, that one. And then remove the last one on that line. Yeah, remove the last bracket on that same line. Just go to the end and remove one of the two brackets there. Yeah, remove one of them. Okay, so that one is correct. Then the next line dealing with quantity, input, enter quantity. This is okay, but you need to close with one more. Ah, okay, I've seen the problem. Sorry, while you're on line 2, put one bracket there. There is a need for one bracket in line 2. There is a need for one bracket in line 3 at the end. Yeah, do the same thing for line 2.
So I can't hear you well.
All right, put one bracket on line 2. Yes, just like you did for line 3. Yeah, that's correct. So run this now. Run it. No. You run it by clicking on this green button here, this green arrow here at the top. The green arrow beside current file. Okay, give me control of your screen. Give me control of your screen. Okay, fine, I can do that now. So this is what I wanted to do. I'm right-clicking here and say run Proj 3. Proj 3 goes, I'm expecting it to give me some prompts. Okay, product name. So we'll say milk. Unit price, 90 Naira. Quantity, we are buying 50. And then that's the last point because you have not displayed your results. So when you put in your result there, it will handle that. Let me check your approach 2. Because that one too was showing an error. So you need to continue your work on approach 3. So let me click on approach 2. Okay, so approach 2 is asking you for input score. I think this one is also in order. Yeah, so this one is also fine. So you just continue approach 3 by writing here that discount from the analysis that we've done so far, the discount is 0. And then let's see what you can come up with by Monday. Okay, so I'll check this on Monday, all things being equal, and then we'll continue. So I wish you a very nice weekend. I give the floor back to the chairman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Chairman.
I mean, it's been an amazing time. Hello? I heard you.
Yes, okay.
It's been an amazing time, and I mean, long one for that matter. And I want to thank our teacher, because I will say our teacher now, because the level of details that tutoring was too detailing to say lecturer here now. So for the time, and also congratulate those who have been able to submit their assignment for corrections and so on. So it's good to try and be corrected. It's part of learning. In fact, it is a I realize that it's a good thing that those supports, and I'm sure the session will learn lots of, and some of them will stay permanently with you. So very essential. We need to practicalize what we are learning and bring it forth to be corrected as part of the learning. So programming is not theory. Programming is something you need to practice. It's a skill that you are learning. It's a technical knowledge. So it's a skill. The more you do it, the better you are at it. So here I'm encouraging every other person. Imisi, Miriam, Raji, all of you, you need to come out. Ismail, Isan, Waiz, I want to see what you have been able to do, no matter how small or, incoherent and so on. It's still good you bring it forth so that you can be corrected. So we have the weekend to do that. And I want to see that on Monday, inshallah, we will all come with one small program or the other. Even some other things that we have tried by listening to all the tips, try what is inside it, and come up with whatever you are able to do, no matter how bad, good, tattered, incoherent, confused it is. Bring it and let's share it. Come and use it to teach us. When we listen to how you are corrected, all of us will learn better. Okay. So guys, thank you. I'm sure that we are convinced this summer is one of its kind. So see you Monday. I don't know if HIV still has anything to say. So,
now, I've put a message on the WhatsApp for them. If they have any question at any time, post it in WhatsApp. You can snap picture of your screen, post it into WhatsApp. I'll help you fix your code and send the correct code back to you. That's the easiest way for you to keep the momentum going. You will write a game before 31st of this month has 31st now, August. Yes. Yeah, before 31st of August, you will develop a small game, and that should open your mind to what you are capable of doing. And when they ask you, how was your summer holiday, you can give an amazing account of how you spent it. I wish you an
absolutely. Girls, I know you are not going to disappoint me on Monday, and I know you are going to beat the boys. So I'm looking forward to seeing yours.
My boys are up to the task.
So don't disappoint me, Amira. Don't disappoint me, So Monday I want to see what you've done, and Aisha and Ike. So look forward to seeing you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.